glad to be here with you. It is a rainy day here where I live, but hopefully we don't run into that at the airport here. I don't think we will, but you never know. Alright, let's see. I'm going to try to use this weather program. Maybe. I've got an option here. It's being silly. Let me try to restart NVDA. I need to get into the options of this program. I've got something set that's making it act loony. So let's see if we can fix that real quick. Let's see if we can so NOOA. So that sim won't do us no good. WX. I think I had that unchecked normally. I do it that way. I'm just fixing this real quick. FS9 only, that's not. We need to uncheck that. Let's see what it does here. We'll maximize this for you. Alright, let's see what it says here. I gotta go load TFM. There we go. Loading the problem is this weather program, it keeps reading. Y'all hear? Well, you don't hear it, but I do. See what that does. I think what I'm going to do is another day I can update the regular FS Real Weather, FSWX or whatever it's called. This is just, well, you get what you pay for, and this is free, so that's why the light one doesn't, it just doesn't work that good. Yeah, it's not. We'll just close that. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. All right, so we are at gate A10 at JFK. We're going to be flying down to Miami, Florida today. Not tonight. Today. It's rainy out. Rainy. I believe our flight level is going to be 340. Yes, FL 340. Block fuel is 26,000. Cost index is 15. Taken from 13 right. Direct to Wavy. We landed at 8 right in Miami. Hogue BNFH 1. Looks like a Sid Star for Miami. So we'll get that set up here in a minute. We're going to load first officer. If you are watching, oh, you know what? Let me do something real quick. I almost started up first officer without flight plan downloaded. There it is, JFK to KMIA. We'll export it. Close that. Close that. And load first officer. That's connected. Go through our preferences real quick. $13 right. 34,000. Download WX. And we're going to be doing a right in Miami. Okay. Here we go. I do not have the chat window open, so if you're chatting, I'm not seeing that right now. But I will be opening it here in just a little bit once I get things going here. Alright, door 1 is open. Our co-pilot will be with us in about 25 seconds. You know, it's pretty cool how accurate that the sim matches stuff. I'm going to show you guys something. Let me see if I can. I'm going to unmute YouTube because I want to show you guys something real quick. I'm going to go to Brave real quick. Now this is just a flight I watched, but it just shows you how it matches. You hear that? 1,000. Like, listen to the voices in this video for the landing. See that? Approaching minimums. It's and the video was a little short. I made the clip for it and it stopped at 100 feet, but I just wanted to show you the there. We'll mute. Alright, so I'm just waiting on him to get the IRS set up here. Then he'll do a couple other things and we'll be on our way. That noise you hear, that clicking, that is him messing with the CDU, the left soft and right soft buttons. All right. Direct data, we're good there. There we go. I want that on. There we go, back to the root page. I'm going to execute that because there is no SID. Eight right for Miami. B and F. There it is. Execute. Clear leg page. $158. It looks good. Get our weather loaded in. Okay. Load. Execute. Back to your leg page. It looks good. Gonna wait on him to do this. I believe he will. We're gonna wait and see him and test it. So we're waiting on that. I'm gonna open the restream chat. Now if it starts causing me some lag stuff, I'll turn it off. But we've got it on right now. So if you want to chat with us, you can. So now we're just waiting on the co-pilot to get back in the cockpit here. He went outside to do his walk around, check everything, make sure everything looks good. Make sure we don't got no birds sticking in the engines or, you know, anything crazy. Now, I really don't check about birds because we're not in the sky yet, but that's a big problem with flying. Is certain places you gotta watch out for the birds. I believe Seattle's one of them places. New York. Good thing they don't simulate that. We'd be in trouble. But like I said, we're waiting on the co-pilot here. He shouldn't be too much longer. You know, I think I know what we're going to do. Let's see if we can get some ATC on here today. And there's an update, so it's going to update vPilot for me. Go to flight plan here real quick. Load. There it is. That's what we want. That's funny. It said talking flight monitor high. Yeah. I got you, Andy. You guys, that's Andy. He changed his name to Talking Flight Monitor. Alright, let's see here. That's what I said. You got a different name, yeah. Alright. File flight plan. Boston is online. Andy, do you know if is NY, is that the same center as JFK or no? Ah, here we go. I got JFK. Never mind. Niner, Delta Whiskey, radio check. Oops. Niner, Delta Whiskey, radio check. Every time I key up, someone's keying up. I can. All right. I'm having mic problems, guys. They're not hearing me at all. Niner, Delta Whiskey, radio check. Let's try one more time. Niner, Delta Whiskey, radio check. Thank you, sir. Niner, Delta Whiskey, wanted to verify if you got if the flight plan uploaded for you. .035. Oh, here we go. And my mic is not. I'm gonna do something here. Let me try something. Shut. Alright, I'm going to stop that for now because we're having problems here with the mic. Alright, I need to make sure. $148. V1 is 148. 150 for VR. And 160 for V2. So we look good there. Alright. Alright, we're looking good there, guys. Let's see. Let's go ahead and you know, it's interesting. Let's close the door. You would think that they would, by default, turn on the lights, at least at a dim setting or bright if necessary. But by default, from what I've noticed, right here, dome lights, it's always off. I guess it doesn't really know whether to turn them on or not. Alright, so we put the dome lights on dim. Speed is set. Altitude is set. $158. For some reason, first officer set my heading to 134, which doesn't make sense because it needs to be 158. Alright, let's take a look here. There's my sister. Alright, we're ready for pushback. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go with the default choice. Wait for the tug to get over here. Tug. Alright. This will be a bit of a longer flight than what we did last night. This flight is going to be... we'll be going down to Miami today.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Are you guys able to hear GSX talking or no?
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Here we go. Yeah, I don't got it set up yet. I'll have to work on that. I'm having mic problems on that sim anyways. So
Locking gear. Release parking brakes.
Parking brake off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
alright. Let's go ahead and oh, come on.
Before start checklist. Flight deck door. Closed and locked. Fuel. 239er 88 pounds. Check. Passenger signs. On. MCP V2160. Heading 158. Altitude 34000. Check. Takeoff speeds V1148 VR 150 V2160. Check. CDU pre-flight. Rudder and aileron trim. Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Check
Anti-collision lights.
on.
Checklist complete.
Start engines.
Starting engine 2.
Set parking brakes.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Alright, I'm going to wait for engine to get fully started here and then I'll confirm it.
Engine 2 cutout. Starting engine 1.
Alright, engine 1. What's up, sister of mine? What are you up to today? It is definitely a day of coffee here in good old Scottsburg, because it is. Alright, let's go ahead and confirm engine start.
Unlocking gear.
Alright, good engine start. We're good. You got work tonight, Joe?
Engine 1 cutout. Engine stabilized.
You got that right, buddy. You got that right.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Hey, don't you turn my dome lights off. How dare you? You turn my dome lights off. Leave my dome lights alone, co-pilot. Alright, we're ready to do our taxi checklist here.
Taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Set.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brakes.
RTO.
Flight controls.
Flight controls. Here we go. Yoke left.
Full left.
Yoke right.
Full right.
Yoke
Full
back.
back.
Yoke
Full
forward.
forward.
Check.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Checklist complete.
Alrighty. Niner Delta Whiskey gonna be repositioning to runway 13 right due to visual impairment. Just take a minute here. We'll unpause it. Come on. There we go.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Before takeoff
Stabilization
checklist. And you
trim.
can have all that coke you want, girl. Alright, folks. We are ready.
Set. Checklist complete. Flight attendants prepare for takeoff. Thrust set. Speed alive.
Check.
Speed's alive.
80 knots.
80 knots. Check. $112. $125. 138. V1. Rotate.
V2. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Landing gear up.
Alright. Good deal, JoJo. Oh, okay.
400 feet.
VNAV. LNAV.
VNAV on. LNAV on.
Flaps 1.
Pulling flaps all the way in.
Flaps 2.
Autopilot.
Command A on.
Autopilot
Flaps 1.
is activated.
Acceleration altitude. Flaps 0. After takeoff checklist. Engine
After
bleed.
takeoff checklist.
On.
Packs.
Auto.
Landing gear.
Up and off.
Flaps.
Up no lights.
Checklist complete.
Landing gears up, flaps are in, landing lights. Niner got the whiskey clear, runway 13 right. Have a good day. So right now, we're not even at cruise altitude. It's telling us it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to guess Miami's going to be about a 2-hour flight. Maybe a little bit over. Currently at 6,000 feet. Almost 10,000. Getting ready to turn off landing lights. Turn on.
Passing
Turn
10,000
off
feet.
seatbelt sign. Landing lights are off. There we go, that's what I want. We're down to 2 hours and 13 minutes. We're at 15,000 feet, so we might be less than 2 hours actually. Might be looking at maybe an hour and 30, 40 minutes. Cold Red Mountain Dew. It tastes good even when you're at 15,000 feet. All right, Mountain Dew, you owe me an advertisement fee. $17,000 feet. All right, at 17,000, we're at 2 hours and 8 minutes. I don't care for it too much.
Transition altitude.
Check.
2 hours and 7 minutes at 18,000 feet. I'd say by the time we get to 34,000 feet, we're going to be under 2 hours. Maybe an hour and 30 minutes. Alright, you guys, I got to come up with a game plan before we do our descent, because the messages when you get near descent that spams me out, it's a bit too much. So I got to come up with a game plan on that. I'm thinking what I'll do. Here's my idea. When we get to descent and we get down to where we're close to being on the runway, I'm going to change my screen reader to speech mode off. That way I can check stuff Well, the latest one I got, Andy, is the one you gave me. That's well, it ain't you guys. It ain't your messages that spams me out, Joe. It's the light messages. But Andy, the latest one I got is what you sent me for the preview build. Unless I shut down the preview build and load the normal window right before descent, I guess I could do that. Yeah, what I'll do is when I get close to descent, I'll just shut it down, and then I'll open up the regular TFM. That's what we'll do. There we go. We got a game plan, folks. Yeah. No, I understand, Andy. I know that first is getting everything in there, and then you go back and kind of look at what. It really isn't a bug. I want to make that clear to people. It's not that it's a bug. That is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give you the information. It's supposed to tell you what lights are flashing, what lights are on, what lights are off. And that's clearly what it's doing. It's just saying, hey, this light's going off or this light's blinking. And that's what it's doing. So it's not that it's a bug, because it's not, clearly. And what I'll do when I land, I'll just, instead of going to a gate, when I land, I'll close the sim. Once I land and submit my FS Airlines. 1:55:29, and we're at 24,000 feet. An hour and 55 minutes. So yeah, I'd say time we get to 34,000, we'll be at about an hour and 30 minutes. Wind is 279 at 30 knots. We're at minus 15 degrees. We're doing good on the temperature. We don't even need to turn on de-icer at this point. I tell you guys, class is starting to get really hard. Starting to get some really, not stuff that I can't do, but it's very, very specific stuff that I got to do. And, I mean, obviously that's, you know, when you get a bachelor's degree, you definitely have earned it. You have definitely earned it from the work. You know, the surveys that if you ever done a survey, well, I'm in the position now to where I can read a survey that you complete. Like after everybody completes surveys and they get submitted, I know how to read those surveys to actually get the information overall when someone's done a survey. For example, Andy, like how you do those surveys, I could actually give you the statistics on that survey if you ever wanted it. Like, hey John, what is you might already know how to do it, but a lot of times the programs give you that information automatically, but we learned how to we learned how to get that information without going through like an automated thing by just looking at the numbers. Not easy stuff, really. But it's more than that, though, Andy. You got to actually put in the statistics from all the numbers. Like, you got to look at every answer that you get, and then you got to put all them numbers together, and that gives you your overall. But anyway, we're doing stuff like that, and then of course next semester I'll be working, well, I'll be locating, we've got to do 20 hours basically. We got to put in 20 hours of volunteer work. So for example, with me, being I'm going through psychology and then the career base that I want to do, I've got to put in the time somewhere by volunteering, you know, my skills. So it might be me working at a counselor's office, or even doing counseling with teenagers, or doing counseling with probation through adults, or doing counseling with family counseling, marital counseling. I mean, the doors that my degree is going to open once I get it is I mean, it's just unlimited of directions that I can go. That's why I told myself, I said, no matter how hard it becomes, I'm not stopping until I get my bachelor's. That's why I just kept going. We're at 1 hour and 42 minutes until descent. We're at 30,000, so an hour and 40. I'd say roughly would be about 1 hour and 40 minutes by the time we get to 34,000. So 1 hour and 40 minutes until descent. And we're actually flying over the North Atlantic Ocean right now, which is the interesting route that we're taking. I believe what's going to happen, we're going to take the ocean almost all the way down to Florida, I bet. See, 238. That would be 0 north. So we're going kind of west southwest right now, I believe. That sounds good, Andy. A whole chicken. What kind of sides are you going to have with it? You're going to do some fried potatoes, macaroni and cheese, a little bit of coleslaw on the side, throw in a couple collard greens, Brussels sprouts. So our climb rate right now is 1,109 feet a minute. 1,109 feet a minute. That's still boogieing. Boogie woogie woogie choo choo train. Alright, we're at 32,000. And we're at 1 hour and 41 minutes. And I think I might have got this pretty accurate on time. Alright, turning on the seat belts. We got some turbulence happening here, so seat belts are on, people. Don't get out of your seat. You might fall and bust your noggin. 1 hour and 42 minutes. And we're at 32,000. We're climbing up to flight level 340. $1,000 feet to go, my friends. 1,000. Now that beeping noise you just heard there, Lois, that long tone that went meh, that is just indicating that there's 1,000 feet before cruising altitude. An hour and 42 minutes, my friends. That's roughly what it's going to be. Flying over the North Atlantic Ocean.
This is your first
Heading
officer. We've reached our cruising
southwest.
altitude and the air looks pretty good. We're going to flip off the seatbelt sign. You're free to use the lavatories and stretch your legs. However, when in your seats, please keep your seatbelts fastened as turbulence is unpredictable. Again, welcome aboard.
There we go. Seatbelt sign is off. Cruise altitude has been reached. I tell you what would be cool, Andy, and I know this probably isn't really something we can do, but it'd be cool if we had something a way to, look at something that would tell you that, turbulence expected, blah, blah, blah. I guess you could technically by the by how much the plane is dropping and rising, but I don't think there's a specific monitor that says turbulence. I don't know. An hour and 39 minutes. That's pretty accurate on the flight time. Now what I'm going to do is put in our altitude for descent. Alright, we've got our altitude in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and load the other TFM. I think that just restarts it. Let me see. Yep, hold on. There we go. Shutting down TFM for a minute. Here we go. Talking flight monitor. We're going to load the regular. Okay, there we go. So we've got Alright, Andy, we'll be here, my friend. I just loaded the regular TFM, the current full release. Alrighty. An hour and 38 minutes. Load my leg page. Alright, there we go. We are on our way. I believe the next flight we do, my friend, we're going to do a longer flight in the Queen of the Sky, the 744. I've not done a flight with it for about a week. So we're going to get this plane down to Miami, deliver that cargo, and then I'm going to grab the Queen of the Sky, and I believe we're going to take a flight over to New England or something. I'm not sure where we're going to go yet. Got a couple of different options I can go with for cargo. I just heard you say you'd be here, and now you said in FS 2020. I'm confused. What about FS 2020? Well, Tuesday will be. I will be flying in FS 2020 on Tuesday. I'll have to get with Andy or Josh or somebody to help me get the settings where they need to be. I got to get first officer. And I know I got to edit the config file for the 737. But I think that's pretty simple to do. People's going to like that though, because you'll see the real scenery. So those that are sighted, they'll be able to see the real buildings, you know, stuff like that. That'd be pretty exciting. Yeah, that's real nice. I did my landing rate last night when I did the flight to New York was a minus 18, negative 1.8. I thought, man, you can't get no better than that. But you know, the thing with that, and even George told me that if you want anything under negative 100, the weather's got to be perfect. It just has to be perfect weather. You know, straight headwind, dead on headwind, no crosswind at all. Because the crosswind is obviously what also sets up for your landing rate as well. I can't wait to be able to fly the 2020. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Very nice, man. Now, when we're flying with 2020, Andy, are we using the preview build when we're flying that? Is there a different build that I'm going to need, or because I can't use the regular TFM that I'm using now, right? It's got to be the preview build. Okay. And I guess with that said, we'll just have to until you update it, we'll just have to deal with the light messages until we get things straightened out with that. Guys, I'm drinking a pumpkin spice cappuccino. Lois, where'd you go? Oh, then I'll just be waiting on a new release. Okay. Well, you'll have to put it, maybe drop it in our Dropbox or something, because I know it's not an update. I can't build it myself, but yeah. Put it in Dropbox maybe, or put it up on the server. Yeah, you better be there, JoJo Hughes. Hour and 28
Center
minutes.
tanks
We got
below
some
1,000 pounds.
We're doing good here, you guys. Stand by. I was just showing somebody. You was wondering why the window kept changing. I was showing somebody what it looked like. It's cloudy out there today, though, folks. Look at the clouds. Let me give you a window view. Look at the gray clouds. Cloudy, 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 cloudy. We really don't got that far to go, y'all. We got an hour and 24 minutes. That's nothing. That's nothing in the airplane. Our Mach is at 0.78. £17,000 of fuel. Oh, okay. Is Kari over the bug? She doing better? Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. It's probably worse on him because he never had a shot. So I'd say he's got the worst of it. Yeah, welcome back, Andy. Oh, so Toga for 2020, you gotta do left. Yeah, because yeah, Andy, that is true, because to get AI off or on, you gotta do left control alt X. Any of your commands that involve the control or shift or alt is the left side of the keyboard. I learned that the hard way too. Matter of fact, I probably crashed the plane on 2020 5 or 6 times because they didn't specify that. Hour and 18 minutes. I believe we're still over the ocean as well. No, we're over Virginia Beach. Flying over Virginia Beach, Virginia. So it looks like we took the North Atlantic Ocean down south to west for a little while, and then it's cutting across, going across Virginia. We're on a heading of 221. Let's see. 221, I believe that would be... I believe that'd be southwest. Now we're over top of Chesapeake, Virginia. No, I don't think so. I think they'll still have P3D to fly other planes. I don't think they'll dump it, because there's other planes that we can still fly. You know, like, for example, I'll definitely be flying on 2020, but I'm also going to stay with P3D at the same time, because I can fly the Airbus, I can fly the Queen of the Sky. I mean, Queen of the Sky is not ready for 2020, so those that like flying that, they'll still have it. I think it'll be 50-50. I think they'll keep it, but at the same time, you know what we need to do, Andy? We need to get a survey, a small survey. A survey between 2020 and P3D. And if you put it together, just with them two questions. Well, just with one. Well, no, you could do a few different questions related to 2020 and P3D. Like, for 2020, would you prefer to fly the 737 with 2020 or P3D? Then the next question would be, would you fly the 737 on P3D after having the 737 for 2020? Then another question could be, knowing that you can fly on 2020 with the 737, would you still keep P3D to fly the other planes that are not available on 2020 yet? So we could set up about 5 questions and come out with the statistics on 2020 being ahead of P3D within our community. Because I think people will keep it. I think they'll keep P3D. They'll just use 2020 for 737s, and then they'll use P3D for the other airplanes. The Airbus. We can't fly the Airbus, and it does no good to fly it on 2020 because it's just AI flying it. I'll fly the 737 on 2020, but I'm going to P3D on the rest of it because I can at least control the airplane more myself. Hour and 12 minutes, my friends. Won't even be an hour, we'll be getting set up for our descent. As a matter of fact, there's that. Request. Load. Execute. Alright, now we've got our descent weather all loaded in, and the cool thing about your descent with the descent, we can go ahead and do our descent checklist even being an hour out. Doesn't matter, you can do it at any time. You can do a descent checklist even after you get the cruise altitude, technically. Hey, Mom, I see ya.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Here's our descent
Check.
checklist.
Recall.
Pressurization
Check.
is set.
Auto brakes.
Set.
Auto brakes set.
Landing data.
Check.
Altimeters.
Landing data is
Check.
checked.
Approach briefing.
Altimeters
Completed.
are checked. Approach briefing is completed.
Checklist complete.
Checklist is complete. So now we're already set up for our descent checklist. Oh man, I bet that was a hell of a scene. What you up to, mama? JoJo says she sees you, Mom. Got an hour and 8 minutes. That's actually going to be about 40 minutes. Around in there, 40-ish minutes until descent. We are over top of Beaufort, North Carolina. Beaufort, North Carolina. Wind is 288 at 41. I'm gonna let me do something here. Wing de-icer. Wing anti-ice on. Anti-ice on. I turned on the de-icer because we're at minus 55 degrees, and anything below minus 40, you should always have your anti-ice on. Yeah, I've already switched over to the regular TFM. I think I can still get to it with regular TFM. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. We're good. There, at least I was able to do my anti-ice anyways. Craven, North Carolina. We're flying over Craven, North Carolina, folks. An hour and 4 minutes till descent. 1 hour and 4 minutes. Now we are out over Jones, North Carolina. Heading is at 220. I'll tell you, a long stretch when you're flying is going over Georgia. That is a big state. Seems like you're over it forever. Yeah, in Texas, man. Especially if you're going over it the long way. Depends on how you're flying over Texas, but for the most part, yeah, Texas is a... That ain't too bad. Onslow, North Carolina. Let's see here. Alright, we are under 1 hour. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under 1 hour until descent. Mother, if you're watching, you better buckle your seatbelt, because you never know what you're going to get. I'm Forrest Gump. I'm going to fly over here and see my Jenny. Run, Forrest, run. That's right. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Sound like the day that you lose your virginity. We're actually going slower than what I anticipated as far as speed. Usually we're at about 300 knots, and today that is not the case. Today we are flying at 274 knots indicated at a Mach speed of 0.77, which I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Oh, that's right. I don't think we can't update our Mach speed, I don't think. Well, yeah, we might be able to. It's going up a little bit. I don't know if this is the alpha. I'm flying with the latest version of TFM, not the preview builds. Now we're back out over the North Atlantic Ocean, you guys. Heading 210. I believe we're going to see the North Atlantic Ocean until we get down to Miami. Yeah. I'm excited about the video for Tuesday evening. It's going to be good. Teardrop, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a really... It's going to be a good video because we're going to be talking about the overall, the latest panel for the 737, and then we're going to be covering kind of everything about the 737, and then we're going to move up to 2020 and talk about 2020 as well. It's going to be a good live stream. I'm going to guess, if we can, I'd like to keep it around 2 hours. But I got a feeling we might even go over 2 hours. It could end up being more along the lines of 3 hours. Just because there's so much that we got to cover. Then on Sunday, the 6th, write it on your calendar, folks. On the 6th, we will be publishing a new BVI Pilots podcast that will get updated And the podcast will be published onto YouTube as well. But if you would like to listen to the live broadcast, the live feed of the BVI Pilots podcast, you can download. There is an app. I'm going to type it in the chat box. Give me a minute here. This is the app that you need to download if you want to listen to our podcast. You can listen to it through Spreaker. You can listen to it. There's several ways you can pick up the podcast. But if you want to do the live feed of the podcast and be able to like throw questions at us through the live feed of the podcast, I'm going to tell you to download Spreaker. Download the app, and then you can look for BVI Pilots podcast. Follow us on it, and then each time that we publish a new video or a new podcast, you'll pick it up through that app itself. That is available through Google, through the Android devices, and also through the Apple devices. So you can get it through your iPhone, your iPad, your iPod. You can get it through your Google, through Android devices. If you're on a computer, you can go to our actual page. Let me get it for you because I got to look it up. Hold on one second. Oh, hold on, this stupid thing. Let me try to find it here. Let's go to Spreaker. Let me find it this way. Hold on. Because I don't know what the direct URL is for it. Let's see. The BVI Pilots Podcast. Right here it is. Okay. Right here. Here we go. Alright, Teardrop, pay attention. I'm going to give you something. Alright, that latest link that I just put on the chat, that will take you to our BVI Pilots podcast where you can follow us, okay? In order to follow, though, you got to have an account with Spreaker. Now, it is free. You can sign up for free. You don't got to do the broadcasting. Just sign up. That way you can follow the podcast. And when we do a podcast, you'll get notified. You can set your notifications up through the app if you download the app on your phone. Now, if that's what you want to do, by all means do it. If you need help, let me know. I'll help you out. But we don't do podcasts all the time, folks. I'm going to explain to you why. The BVI Pilots podcast is something that me and Declan put together. We've been doing it for a while now. And the one thing about the BVI Pilots podcast is the integrity for the podcast. Meaning, anything that we talk about through that podcast is 100. It's 100% fact. Not me guessing, not Declan guessing, not an opinion, not, well, maybe you can do this, not maybe you can do that, but what you can do, what you cannot do. It's a fact that we publish whatever we talk about on that podcast. Okay, so it's kind of a big thing. It's, you know, it's one of the things that I know. If I send someone to the BVI Pilots podcast and I say, hey, go listen to the latest podcast, that's going to tell you how to do it. I know for a fact you're going to get the exact information. Not stuff that we're guessing about, but stuff that we know is 100%. We bring people on the show. We brought Andy on the show before from TFM, Talking Flight Monitor. We brought Jason on the show, a partner of TFM Talking Flight Monitor. You know, we only bring on people that can come on and give us facts about what we might be discussing. On Sunday, on the 6th, Andy, from the developer of TFM, he will be presented on the podcast. And he will be talking about the 737 and the panel. Basically, the 737 will be fully completed, meaning every button, every switch, every feature, we have accessibility to it. Now, let me minus something. There's only one panel that we don't have access to. And we'll talk about that on Sunday, but that's not because it's because we can't. And it's all visual, like graph, like it's stuff that wouldn't do us no good. So, anyways, that's on the 6th. So, don't miss it. Let's see where we're at here. 45 minutes until descent. We're over the North Atlantic Ocean again. We've been following the ocean all the way down, and then of course we went over some land, and we hit Virginia, North Carolina, and now we're back over the ocean again. This is actually a pretty common route. Yes, we're going to be covering FS 2020 as well with the 737 for FS 2020. Now, we're only going to be talking about the 737 with FS 2020, folks. We're not going to be giving you information about any other plane on 2020. That's not facts because we don't know all the information. We don't do accessibility with them other planes yet. So we will not be discussing any other planes other than the plane that is available on 2020 right now. I know when they get done with the 739, are they going to be going to the 777 next, Andy, or the Queen of the Sky? I think the Queen of the Sky is the last on the list. It's the beautiful people. Yep, so after the 739, the FS 2020 team will be developing the 777 for FS 2020. That's going to be pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. The most exciting thing about all this, folks, is this. Any of the PMDG planes that we fly on P3D will be available for us to fly on 2020 with TFM. That's the exciting part. That's the part that makes you go, meow. I must say though, I really do love flying. One of the things that I will tell you is I've been talking to an actual group of real pilots that fly Cessnas and Bonanzas, and it's looking like they're going to allow me to join the group. When that happens, I'm going to be bringing on real pilots on the channel to talk about flying, but I've got something a little more exciting than that. A guy named Paul out of Henryville, Indiana, is going to allow me to fly with him, and we're going to do videos of me flying with him. And well, I've got some big stuff coming up with that too, and I'm not going to ruin all the surprises, but let me tell you, when you start seeing them videos, you had better be watching, because there's going to be some really exciting stuff that's going to take place within that cockpit. And that's all I can tell you. I'll tell you this much. With what we're looking at and the way things are looking, that documentary, the documentary of a blind person being able to fly an airplane, that will be getting published. Now, if you can't add it up from there, I can tell you no on that, Andy. No, it's not about making nothing was made accessible. But when I go to get in this airplane with him, at the time that we start this exciting stuff, I'll know every button in there. Every button, every lever, every switch. And we're going to make one hell of a documentary. Yes, Andy, it is. And I'm telling you, listen, this is the way I see it, folks. And I understand that, the side of world, they have a real hard time biting on this. But let me tell you something. If an airplane can take off from the runway by itself without a pilot, period, without a pilot, and fly halfway across the country full of cargo, land, deliver the cargo, and go back on its own, there is no reason, no way that it's not possible to put accessibility in a cockpit. We just needed to give us information on the display, on the panels. We just need to know what them panels are saying. If it says our speed's 120 knots, it just needs to give that to us in audio. And I believe 100% that we can do that. 100%. And no, I will not be scared to fly. Not at all. Not a 1% of me will be scared. I'll be super excited, but I won't be scared. I'll tell you that. Alright. That's what we got here. 38 minutes. We're still out over the North Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, most definitely. I'm guessing our mother probably lost connection. I've not heard a peep out of her. "35 minutes, my friends. It's only 271 miles. It's not far to go at all. I believe we're going to see the North Atlantic Ocean until we get to down here to Miami. Then we'll be coming back across the land. Yeah, she probably fell out on us. Joe, listen for your phone. Guys, stand by a minute. I gotta make a call. Hold on. Alright, folks, I am back. I had to have a conversation with my sister, and that needed to be on the telephone and not the microphone. But yeah, I've been, you know, the only way you can make things happen, the only way that you can even make dreams happen is by reaching out, doing the things that will give the ability for that to happen. You know, just sitting here and saying, man, I'd really like to fly. I wish I could fly. Man, nobody will let me fly. Well, you can't say that because you've not reached out to nobody. You gotta spread your wings. And really, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to reach out to all these different groups and stuff like that. Connect with that. It takes that one person to say, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You know, or what's your intent? Because, like, listen, I can tell you this much. I'm not just going to be jumping in an airplane and flying. I'll be going through training just like anyone else would. Only it's going to be modified a little bit. But I'll be going through that training, you know. So, yeah. All right. We're down to 27 minutes, my friends. And we are still out over the North Atlantic Ocean. We basically went out over the North Atlantic all the way up by New York. Flew it all the way down, cut across a little bit of land with what was it, North Carolina and Virginia, and then right back out over the ocean. We're on a heading of 209er. Wind is 288 at 41 knots. 0 wind gusts. Temperature still at minus 5.5. So we're going to leave the icer on. Oh no, Declan, that sucks, dude. Damn. Good to see that you've at least got home, at least for now. And yeah, we're doing a flight from JFK to Miami. We're currently out over the North Atlantic, and we got about 24 minutes until descent. Flight's been going pretty good here lately. Of course, I've been doing some 737 flights, but my next flight I'm going to jump back into the Queen of the Sky, of course, one of my favorite airplanes. Even though the 737 is a nice plane to fly, I really do enjoy flying the Queen of the Sky. It's a good airplane. That's because you don't got no Wi-Fi. You're doing it through your data, Mom. And your data is just not that good. It doesn't do as good. When you get your internet set up, that's going to be a lot better for you. Teardrop is on here, her and Lois. She's got 2 names on here right now.
Speed brake arm.
Alright, speed brakes are armed. Spoilers are retracted. We've already got our descent checklist already done and set. Yeah, I wasn't even sure yesterday when I touched down in New York. I was flying the preview build and it kept on repeating all them light messages. I wasn't even sure how that landing was going to be, but it ended up being pretty daggone good. It was under minus 100, but I couldn't get NBA to read me the information I needed to know because it was so daggone spammy. But he's going to fix that in the next preview build. I'm not sure what the plan is. I think he's going to fix it where you can at least set it to check mark it where it doesn't read it off to you. The reason it spams because the lights are blinking. Still out over the North Atlantic. I think we're going to be over this all the way till we hit Florida from the looks of it. Yeah, and on the one right now you can't turn off the lights that we need to turn off, so he's going to fix that in the next build so we can turn them, off or on. Because, well, of course you already know that, Declan. It's as important as it is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Andy, I know you're gonna fix that, but come on, people. An air balloon. Listen, if that person is listening now or might be listening at another time, there is no way ever, I want you to listen to the words clearly. There is no way ever that a hot air balloon will have a CDU, an FMC, or any other logical data feedback because you're flying in a balloon. You're controlling the hot air with the flame that lights up as you're moving and as you're landing. I don't even know. I don't even know the requirements on how that fully works, but what I do know, TFM does not support hot air balloons, my friend. I mean, I don't know why you would think that it would. It almost is an insult to even hear them words through an email. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have seen that email. Just so I could do a feedback video. Yeah, yo, Andy, you need to create a new program called Talking Balloon Monitor. It's gonna have two boxes, one for the hot air and then one for the ropes that you pull on to get it to do different stuff. Or you could have a third box for the hot air coming out of the person's mouth, thinking that there's going to be a CDU for a hot air balloon. Come on, homie. You need to get your shit together. You're killing me. I thought, now I'm just going to be honest here, I thought that when I heard the whole story about I would like to hook up the thermostat to my airplane, I really thought that that was the extreme of all extremes. That you wanted to hook your thermostat up to your cockpit. Okay, I thought that was the extreme. But I'm going to tell you what, my friend, you have just proven me wrong. You have proven me wrong. And now I'm absolutely dumbstruck by the thought of you even thinking that an air balloon with a CDU. Fucking priceless. What'd you say is coming out, Declan? What is it? I missed what you said there. 16 minutes till descent, my friends. From my understanding from the beta, and I'm on the beta as well, but oh, first officer. Okay. Yeah, they're supposed to fix the first officer next, from my understanding, and Declan, so we can actually read the buttons that we couldn't read before. So that'd be a good fix. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Total fuel is 11,500. Yeah, it's such a pain in the butt doing that. Yeah, most definitely. Golden Cursor's got its pluses, but I hate even having to use Golden Cursor on stuff like that. I remember doing it on some of the planes that I flew on P3D where I could, click some of the buttons. But it was a pain in the butt to even set up. Well, it does, but I mean, it was a temporary fix. Because I did the same thing. I'd use that to be able to see what was going on. But stand by 1 second, folks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, you guys. I thought I had my thermostat hooked up to my CDU, but it's just not working. I don't know what's going on. Maybe when I land, I'll jump in an air balloon and fly that, because I know the FMC will work perfect with the air balloon. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, let's take a look. 12 minutes, folks. 95 miles to go. $95 miles to go, folks. Still over the North Atlantic. That's a very common route when you're going from JFK down to Miami. You stay over the North Atlantic for 80% of the flight. Got our altitude set up. Descent's all set up. Yeah, I could say he might be out there on the runway confused, you know, not knowing where he's at. Yeah, man, he's got to go through all the settings and get everything prepared. Well, if he's in the way, he won't be. Yeah, that's a good point. I've thought about that too. I mean, it really, I guess at the most it's just a thing of simulating being at a gate and taxiing to the runway. But it doesn't really do us no justice, does it? It doesn't do much for us. Well, I guess considering if we look at it on a VAT sim side, we would need gates because obviously we gotta have somewhere to sit before we take off, before we go to a runway. But other than that, other than VAT sim, I can't think of a reason. I think VAT sim would be the most obvious reason for it. I was trying to make him feel a little bit better about himself, but you just destroyed that, man. I was trying to give him a little bit of confidence. We don't need a gate. We can just, sit at the taxiway, man. We can sit at the holding point for every airplane, just line up, or just go on the runway. Just sit there. Sit at the runway. I mean, you don't got to worry about planes coming in and hitting you or other planes wanting to take off. Just sit there, It ain't like Declan and John are waiting to, take off while you're sitting on the runway. Yeah, I'll tell you what got me about the whole Microsoft thing was that the hotkeys that you use, you gotta use the left control keys, left shift key, left alt key. So if you're left-handed or if you're right-handed and you can't use your left hand for whatever reason, you're going to get one of them one special keyboards, I guess. I don't even know. Don't even know, man. 63 miles to go, 8 minutes and 21 seconds till descent. No, I don't want that. Why are you giving me these? 48 miles, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Mighty planes. Oh, get that crap out of here. We got spam coming through. Let me fix it. Hold on, you guys. I'll get it in a minute. $110.30. 92, 110.30, 92. I'll get that in a minute, guys. 110.30, 92. All right, let me. Hey Declan, say something. I want to make sure that that didn't mess with your stream. Go ahead and say something. Okay, yeah, you're good. I had to block that stupid single girl or whatever, and the button was right by your name. Right by you. I thought, man, I hope it didn't mess with his. But yeah, we're good, we're good. $24 miles, you guys. We've got our ILS set up, frequencies are set up, descent checklist has been completed. Just to
Descent
make
checklist.
sure.
Pressurization. Set. Recall. Check. Auto brakes. Set. Landing data. Check. Altimeters. Check. Approach briefing. Completed. Checklist complete.
Yeah.
Approaching top of descent.
Alright, you guys, we are now starting our descent. Well, getting ready to. 2 miles. Here we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Alright, so 31,000 is going to be our next. Those that might be listening now, or if you're listening to this at a later time, I do want to remind you of a couple things coming up. So, on Tuesday, we're going to be doing a live stream covering just stuff about P3D with the 737 panels, and also going to be doing some stuff covering FS 2020 as well. That'll be on Tuesday evening, roughly around 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's a rough figure. But as long as you're subscribed to the channel, you got your notifications set to always, you'll be good. Next is on the 6th. The 6th of next month. That's a little over a week away. On the 6th, it'll be on a Sunday. We'll be doing the BVI Pilots podcast. Again, big difference between the podcast and the live streams like we do now. What we do now, we just talk about things. We might give our opinions, say, yeah, do this or do that, but it's never nothing 100%, right? It could be, but sometimes it's just our opinions. So make sure you tune into the podcast. We'll be covering FS 2020 with the PMDG 737. We might do a little bit of talking about the panels for P3D, but overall, you know, I think that'll be a rough, just kind of roughly run through that stuff. Because the main thing's going to be about FS 2020 with TFM. I believe that's going to be the big thing that we want to talk about. Me and Declan decided, you know, we're going to wait a little bit. Let's see what PMDG does with 737. Let's, you know, make sure TFM's working with it. And then when it gets to working, we're going to do a podcast. So that's what we're going to do on the 6th, which is next Sunday, as a matter of fact. Declan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that would be 2 p.m. 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern is when it'll start, I believe. No later than 2 p.m., I can tell you that. Because the time is different for Declan. You know, he's 5 hours ahead of my time, so we try to make a time where we both can go on there and, you know, do the podcast. We will have Andy on there with us, developer of TFM, so make sure you check that out. Alright, check my leg page here. $24,000 feet or above. Alright, we're looking good here, guys. So far, so good. sometimes TFM, it will say path unachievable, but even though I make it and it still says it. It doesn't even mess up my flight, thank God. But hold on, you guys. Okay, here we go. Had to get rid of my vector there. Shut up. Yeah, I don't know why it does that about path unachievable, because I'm making it to the waypoints in time. It'll say that, but at the end of the day, it's still not messing up my flight. I'm still getting where I need to be at the right time. So I don't know why it's doing that. It's been doing that a little bit here lately, last 3 or 4 flights that I've done. Alright, we love you and we'll talk to you later. Alright, folks. Well, that's a 17,000A, so I'm not too worried about that.
Speed brake arm.
Oh, shit about speed brake. What are you talking about? When we get it under 20,000, we'll turn that back off. Alright, turn that back off. I think usually when it does that path unachievable stuff is whenever it's got them rules about above or below. I think next time I'll go through and edit those and get rid of them. Get rid of the rule connected to being above or below, and just set it to either one, or set it to neither one of them.
Transition altitude. Check.
See, like right here, 16,000 B. So in 9 miles, I need to be below 16,000. Well, we will be. Because we're already at 16,000. Well, close to being at 16,000. So we'll meet that one okay.
Dear passengers, as you can see, we have already started descent. Please fasten your seatbelts, return your seats to their upright positions, and store your luggage either in the overhead compartments or under the seat in front of you. The cabin crew will be passing by to clean the cabin and perform their final safety checks.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. $5 miles for 14,000. Yeah, now you said that, Declan. Yeah, you're right. Because anytime I do throw that out there, it seems to straighten everything up.
Speed brake arm. Okay. Thomas, if you're on the runway, you need to move. Thomas, if you're on the runway, you need to move. I know you're confused. You don't know where you're at. But if you don't get off the runway, you might get ran over there, buddy. Just saying. Because we're coming in. Not only that, but you might have people waiting in line behind you that are ready to take off, continue their flight without delay. You know, Declan and Johnny's, you know, they're in the queue to take off, but this guy's in the way. Ooh, I got a reward on Restream. 100 messages. Traffic helicopter. The helicopter landing. Holy shit. Watch out, people. It's going to level out for a minute because that above rule.
Dear passengers, we have reached an altitude that requires all electronic devices to be switched off, including video cams, laptops, CD and cassette players. Please make sure all of these devices are switched off.
The helicopter's going to be in the way. That's probably Tom would find that damn helicopter. We got another freaking above rule for 11,000A. And good thing I didn't throw up my flaps yet. Not much longer will we pass this silly above rule. Alright, next waypoint is Gucci. $91.83. Yes, we're about to land, Teardrop. We're at 10,000 right now, working our way down. Heading to flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Seatbelt signs are on.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Alright, we're looking good here. Look at my speeds here real quick, make sure. Yeah, it's not actually ramping up speed, Andy. It's not the speed getting faster. That's the engine, because it's gotta hold a certain speed. It just depends on your conditions. It definitely can do that. I've heard it. My speed is staying exactly where it should be. You're just hearing the engines making that noise because it's got to stay at a certain speed. Yeah, but either way, I've heard it do it on 2020. It's not got nothing to do with it. Shouldn't do that, because it just depends on the conditions, really. The wind conditions, altitude conditions, speed conditions. I mean, the sound quality is different, but there's a lot of things that they both do. Alright, let me see.
Flaps 2. Flaps 5. Glide slope alive.
Alright, 5,000. Good, flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Dear passengers, we have reached an altitude that requires all electronic devices to be switched off, including video cams, laptops, CD and cassette players. Please make sure all of these devices are switched
Approach hold
off.
on.
Approach is on. The thing that is annoying is if you want to put your, if you're not ready to put your gear down, it'll start beeping, beep, let you know, put your gear down, but like right now, I'm not putting my gear down at 4,000 feet. I'm not going to do that. And that also, Andy, is just the setting with the sound, it not being fully adjusted dead on the way that it should be.
LNAV off.
Alright, LNAV's off. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that, Andy.
Flaps 15. Landing gear down.
Come on, baby.
2,500.
Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Approach hold off. VNAV off. Command B on.
1,000.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
Set.
Alright.
Speed brake arm.
Looking good here, folks. We're landing, teardrop. $500. $300.
Minimums.
We're at minimums. $200.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Reverse thrust. $100 knots. $80 knots. 60 knots. Reverse idle. Parking brake on.
Dear passengers, welcome to our destination airport. Please remain seated until all docking procedures are performed and cabin lights are switched on. On behalf of the captain and his crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us. We hope you enjoyed your flight today and hope to see you soon.
And there it is. Next. Next. And there we have it, folks. That is the end of our flight. 900 Delta Whiskey, it's clear. Well, folks, there it was. That's right. You can stretch your legs, folks. Stretch your legs. Hope y'all enjoyed the flight. We started out of JFK and now are here in Miami. I hope y'all enjoyed the flight. I appreciate the support of you guys coming up and joining the live stream, chatting with us. Mr. Andy from TFM, my sister, and Declan, Blind Flight Simmer, rather, and everybody else that showed up. I appreciate you guys doing that. And yeah, until next time, I hope you guys have a good day, wherever you might be, and we'll talk to you